In this speed painting tutorial, I'll be demonstrating this beautiful blue jay in acrylics. Hi, I'm Marion Dutton. I'm the author of the Healing Art book and the founder of MazArt Studio. And if this is the first time we've met, I really do hope you'll consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and giving me those all-important thumbs up. This painting demonstration will be completed in acrylics with a little bit of acrylic ink at the end, so stay tuned right till the end. If you do decide to have a go with me and paint along with me, the reference photo is from Pixabay and I'll attach the link below. And if you do decide to have a go with me and paint along with me, do consider joining the MazArt Facebook group where you can share your version. I'm using an oval canvas, and that's just for a little bit of extra interest, and I'm covering everything with white gesso. Now into that white gesso I'm going to start adding in some golds and some cerulean blues, and I'm keeping everything quite brush marky, allowing my brush marks to show. I'm looking for a vignette, so I'm actually keeping the edges of the canvas white. So here you can see I'm just mottling in those colours, the golds and the blues, and I really feel these will complement the blue jay that's going to be going on top. Now what I'm doing is actually spraying water into my hand and then just dropping that onto the canvas. And what I'm trying to do here is create little puddles in the paint, and these will dry a lot slower than the rest of the paint around them. So I'm using the hairdryer and I'm beginning to dry off the canvas, and of course where we've got those puddles of water, they're going to take much longer to actually dry. Switching now to a soft mop, I'm actually starting to brush away the puddles, and of course where the canvas is dried, it's creating these little holes into the paint. And this is giving a really lovely mottled effect, which will be a beautiful background for this bird. So I'm making sure everything is thoroughly dry, and then once again I'm going to cover the whole of the area with some water, and I'm going to just start adding some splatters. Again, this is just for added interest. If you were happy at the stage 1, then leave it at that, but this is just kind of showing you how you can create a really interesting mottled background. And of course once I'm happy with all that, I'm going to dry everything off. The reference for this image is from Pixabay, and I've attached a link below, and I've actually turned it into a pencil sketch, and there are many programs on the internet that'll actually do that for you. We're going to begin by blocking everything in, and basically what blocking in is just very colouring book style. Just put a basic colour on there, don't worry about sort of creating feathers or anything like that, just simply block the colours in that you see on the bird. So for where an area is white, I'm actually just going to block in with sort of a light grey. And the rest of the bird I'm going to block in tones of purples and blues to try and get the undercolour that I'm seeing on the bird. I'm brushing all of my strokes in the direction that the feathers are actually lying. Again, just focusing on blocking in the different areas. Here you'll see I'm switching from the purples to the blues. And at this point I'm not adding any detail, I'm just blocking in the basic colours that I'm seeing underneath. We can add all the feather details on the top. When you're working in acrylics, it's very important to just add these layers. And here you see I've blocked in the branch as well with a basic burnt umber. I'm beginning to add some of the markings that I see on the bird. Here I'm just using black just to block those colours in. I'm using a soft brush now to just add some shadows underneath the feathers, and this will help sort of raise them from the body and make them look more realistic. I switch to a very small detail brush now and begin to add the tiny little feathers that are around the face. I'm careful to which direction that I'm actually flicking these little feathers, but these are very tiny little strokes. And I'm allowing that original dark grey that we put on in the first place to actually be the shadows underneath these feathers. I'm moving on to the head now and starting to add tiny little hair-like strokes, feather-like strokes, again to give the illusion of the feathers, but allowing the undercolour to peek through. I'm going to continue working over the bird now, using a lighter version of the colours that we originally laid down and starting to create these feather-like strokes. Again, it is important that you work with acrylics in layers and do many layers to really get the depth. This painting probably took me about 3.5 hours to fully complete. It's quite a small painting, but I really just kept going back and forth over the feathers and adding the tiny little strokes and building up the lights and darks. If you'd like to paint with me in real time, please visit my online school where you'll find many classes for you to enjoy in a variety of different medium. Each class has been professionally filmed and edited so you won't miss a thing, and they each come with reference photos, tracings and printable PDF instructions. For more information, visit the MazArt website and the link is in the description below. Okay, so we'll get back to the tutorial. So here you can see I'm using a lighter version of this cerulean blue that I've used. And again, adding those little details over the top and allowing that undercolour to actually peek through as the shadows. You really do need a lot of patience when you're putting these tiny little hair-like strokes in, or feather-like strokes I should say. Again, I'll alter the colour in certain places by brushing over ultramarine as well. So I'm just constantly building up the details and keeping these tiny little strokes so you get the illusion of feathers. I'm adding the white now. And each time I add a new layer, I'm going slightly lighter than the one previously. So I'm always building those layers up nice and slowly and allowing the strokes to overlap to create the illusion of feathers. Just take your time, it does require a little bit of patience. Moving on to the branch now, I add some white to the umber and begin to add some lighter strokes, and then I'll go back and do some darker strokes. I'm using the brush right on the chiseled edge to try and create the illusion of bark. I create the claw in exactly the same way, looking for those lights and darks and leaving that initial undercolour as the shadows and the details in that claw. I'm switching now to the Daler Rowney Pearlized Acrylic Inks. Now these have got a lovely shimmer to them, and I'm putting a final coat over some of the blue and the greens that I see in the bird. Finally, I'm switching back to the gold. I've thinned it down with some water and I'm just going to glaze some of that gold in some of the background just to warm it up a little bit. And of course we're going to sign the painting. So here's the finished painting. I really do hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and of course giving me those all important thumbs up, and I'd really love it if you could share this video with your arty friends. I do hope you'll consider having a go at painting this beautiful blue jay, and if you do decide to paint along with me, I do hope you'll join my MazArt Facebook group and share your version there. Thank you guys for watching.